happened tonight because honestly, those words, particularly the sweet world part, they ring a little less true right now. Tonight, we mourn the death of an NBA legend, Craig Sager, who passed away today after a lengthy battle with leukemia. Sags was a fixture on NBA sidelines for 3 decades. He became an icon in sports for his flashy attire, his joyous interactions with coaches and players. We were honored to have him on our own show. Craig's fight with cancer was an inspiration to the millions and millions of people who have been affected by the disease, both directly and indirectly. And I think nothing summed up his spirit better than his speech at the ESPYs earlier this year.
Time is something that cannot be bought. It cannot be wagered with God, and it is not in endless supply. Time is simply how you live your life. So I will never give up, and I will never give in. I will continue to keep fighting, sucking the marrow out of life as life sucks the marrow out of me. I will live my life full of love and full of fun. It's the only way I know how.
Unbelievable speech from Sags there at the ESPYs again earlier this year. Trey, athletes, took to Twitter today, no surprise, to share their condolences and their memories of Sager. I think you have a few of them.
Yeah, really an outpouring of support from the league on Twitter today. Scottie Pippen said, Craig Sager brought so much enthusiasm to the NBA game, but his fight to the end is what really impressed me. R.I.P. to an inspiring man. Baron Davis said, R.I.P. Craig Sager, you will always be with us. You brought fans closer to the game in a fun way, humanizing coaches, fashion, wit, legend. Jamal Crawford said, heaven just got a little more colorful. Love that. Luol Deng said, Craig Sager, beloved icon on the sideline whose battle never sidelined his fearless spirit, truly inspired by his legacy. And Kobe Bryant echoed that ESPY speech saying, time is simply how you live your life, a Craig Sager quote. Then he added, so grateful for the time you shared with all of us. R.I.P., my friend. Personally, we were lucky to have known him. We're lucky to have him on the show a couple of times, and I consider him a role model of mine. He's from a small town in Illinois, about 20 minutes from where I grew up. He loved basketball. He loved clothes. If I'm able to become half the NBA personality he was, I will consider myself incredibly lucky. And we want to hear from you at home, too. So let us know on Twitter. How will you remember Craig Sager? Send us your best Sager memories to #TheStarters. We're going to reminisce a little bit later.
Yeah, get those tweets in, #TheStarters. You had a chance to talk to Sags when you were at the finals in 2016 here.
Yeah, Game 6 in Cleveland, because he'd never worked the finals before, and an agreement between ESPN and TNT allowed him to do that, and I got an opportunity to speak to him for a couple of minutes, and it was a really special moment because prior to the interview, he was being pulled in every direction. Everyone wanted a little interview and a couple of minutes with him, and he came over to our set, and just before we went to air, I had 2 or 3 minutes of just some really good story time with him, really fun moment, and he really made you feel like you were the person that he was hoping to see that day, and that's a very special skill to have that. And you know, as Trey said, we all kind of aspire to be like him in our role, and if we can be anything like he was, it'd be a great achievement for all of us.
I just can't believe how positive and strong he was. Diagnosed over 2.5 years ago, 3 bone marrow transplants. That doesn't happen to many people. Hundreds of procedures. And chemotherapy, if you've ever been around anyone who's undergone chemotherapy, it simply drains the person. It stops the person. Craig Sager was working. Yeah. The man was literally working. Our makeup artist, Rachel, just told me of how he came in here to work. He literally had his hospital bracelets on because he just came from the hospital. Yeah. And you mentioned, how he made you feel. And Charles Barkley and Reggie Miller went and visited him, and they said basically the exact same thing. He made it feel like you were the one.
You were that special person
that he was visiting almost.
Right.
Like he wasn't sick whatsoever. Like I don't want to claim to know Craig at all because I don't know him all that well. But that time is simply how you live your life. I mean, that's a note that he obviously lived by, and I know a lot of us think we live by codes, but this man obviously lived by a code, and he was really, really inspirational. Throughout those 30 months. I don't know how he fought so hard and remained so positive.
I just love, and I hope we try and do this night in and night out here on the Starters, is to remember that basketball is supposed to be fun. And Sager definitely remembered that above all. This is a blast. It's a game they're playing. We can have fun with this. We can laugh. I mean, the outfits alone. He said, live your life boldly, and I think your jackets, your sports jackets, or your fashion should be just as loud. As it's sad that he's gone today, but I think we need to, in his memory, with his spirit, to put on a good show here. Hopefully tonight for everyone.
For Sags.
Yeah, for sure. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Craig's wife Stacy, their children, the entire Sager family, everyone here at Turner and NBA TV. Rest in peace, Sags. We'll be right back.